Hey again, everyone. It's Tyler Cavalli, Jacob Roth, along with you for another edition of KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska, the Red Meat Road Trip, as it brings us to York, Nebraska, right off the interstate, as we're at McLean Beef. Thanks to our great sponsors, the Nebraska Cattlemen, the Nebraska Beef Council, Cross Diamond Cattle, Cross Diamond Meats of Bertrand, and the Nebraska Beef Council for sponsoring our Red Meat Road Trip. All right, this is one that's been highly coveted, if you will, and we're excited to learn more about this one.
Excited to head in.
All right, let's do it. So let's learn more about McLean Beef here at KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska. All right, we are back for KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska. We're in York, just right off the interstate today, as we're at McLean Beef, one of those spots that has been talked about for a long time leading up to this as Nebraska's Beef Passport program, but a part of KRVN's Sizzling across Nebraska. We're talking to Max McLean, one of the co-owners here, and let's talk about McLean Beef. And you guys are somewhat relatively new to the area.
Yeah, we're just celebrating, and this Friday will be our 4th year in business. So we've been here in the York area. Before this, we had sold out of our office at our feed yard that's north of Benedict, and so it's been a good move for us, and we're enjoying it right here.
So you guys are very unique because you do a lot. Like we've learned on this Red Meat Road Trip across the state of Nebraska, some are just true butcher shops, some are meat shops, some integrate both. But man, you have a great restaurant here. You are a meat shop as well, but you also hang beef, and we'll get to it here in a little bit. But you also have one of the most unique things, I think, on this entire Red Meat Road Trip is obviously vending machines right outside. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. Talk about how you got to this process of thinking to do all of this.
Well, we've been in the retail business for 20 years, selling out of our feedlot office, but COVID come around, and that kind of sparked our interest about being able to provide our product locally, and I think COVID kind of helped people understand that they can go elsewhere for their products rather than just going to the grocery stores or whatever. So we were having a little difficulty keeping up with supply. So we started looking for places to open up maybe a business, a locker and retail store, and we just happened to run across this place, which was very ideal location, pretty close to the interstate, a lot of traffic by here. So we pursued going into trying to see if we could get the place bought, and we ended up buying it, and then we went into the process of trying to retrofit a building change it completely into a processing plant, and then as we went along, we had enough room kind of in the front part of the building that we decided that maybe a good way to showcase our product would be, be able to have a restaurant to where we could, let people try our products, different products, and help them make a decision on what they'd like to have, and that's been really good for us. It's just kind of went from there.
Talk about you obviously talked about processing beef here. Is that local beef from around the area? You have a feedlot you mentioned as well. There's a lot of the beef that it comes into McLean Beef from your feedlot, or is it a combination?
Yeah, we're about, right now we're just about 10% of our own from our feedlots coming here and goes through our retail program. So we're doing about 10% of our business that's and then the rest is all for our opened up for customers, different brands. We do quite a few different other people's branded products. We process their meat through here, package it, and all that. So we provide a service that way for a lot of producers. So, because we're able to produce process about 30 to 40 animals a week of beef, and then we usually do hogs at least once a month, and then we also are approved for sheep and goats. So we're kind of trying to help other producers out by providing that service, and it's been worked well.
And so with that all coming in and producers having their stuff come in, is this a USDA inspection so they can go out and do with what they want, or is it custom exempt, or what does that kind of breakdown look, obviously, as you've got this beautiful facility going on its 4th year?
Yeah, that was one thing we talked about when we decided we wanted to build a place, because we knew if we were going to sell retail, we were going to have to be USDA inspected, or otherwise we'd have to, if we wanted to use our own animals. Now we could buy boxed beef from an inspected facility and sell it, but we wanted to use our own, so we decided to go the inspection route, and so we're fully USDA inspected. Another plus with the USDA inspection is we're able to work with the schools with the beef and school programs, and that's been a nice addition to our helping them out, so we can get good beef into these schools for these kids.
No, and that's kind of leading into the next part that we'd like to kind of bring up at a lot of our stops, the community aspect of, obviously we're talking about a lot of Nebraska beef as you're trying to get it and keep it local. Talk about the importance and the support you've seen from the local communities, whether it's right here in York or a variety of the smaller communities around. Do you feel like you've seen that support, obviously, as a lot of what you're trying to do is also support them on the backside as well?
Yeah, I've been very happy with the support. York has been very easy to work with on our process of getting approved to build this to start with. The city council and the mayor and everybody there, they've worked with us really well, and York has taken us in pretty well as far as, people come and buy our products and are happy we're here. The comments we're getting, they're glad we're here, and it's not just York. I mean, we're getting people from, as far away as Seward and Lincoln. We get some people out of Lincoln that come up to buy some products, and then we're also selling quarters, halves, and wholes to people in Omaha and Lincoln, and then we've got McCool, and we've got Geneva. There's a lot of their towns around have been coming in and helping us out. So yeah, it's we also have a website, and that's kind of helps with the Lincoln and Omaha, getting things out, and we're on Facebook, and so we're trying to expand our media presence, but it just takes time. So
I get to talk to Max McLean of McLean Beef, as it is our latest stop here just off the interstate in York of KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska, the Red Mead Road Trip. I want to talk about your storefront here that we're in for the video side of this. You guys have a beautiful area. It looks like that maybe you serve lunches, dinners, breakfast. I'm not sure. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you have a spot here as well that people can buy single cuts of steak, pre-packaged, or if they want to come in and get wrapped up in the old butcher paper as well. And then you have a frozen spot as well. Talk about your meat front here as well.
Yeah, this was my wife's brainchild here. She designed all this. We wanted to be able to supply people with a product that they could come and get, take home and eat. But we also wanted to have it too if they were going to be traveling or something, they needed frozen product to travel with. We could offer that, and then we also have people that kind of like that old butcher type flair come in and get what they want, whether it's a 2-inch cut ribeye or 1.5 or whatever, and then we can wrap that up in butcher paper and they can take it home. But it's just kind of the convenience that fit different situations in people's lives. We just kind of wanted to be pretty full service. The restaurant part of it, we opened up for breakfast and lunch, so that's a way to get people to come in and try our stuff out.
And I've been dying to ask about it. You talked about convenience there. The meat vending machines. It feels like a thing that kind of everybody's heard about it, at least in something like, oh, do you know in York, just off the interstate, they got those meat vending machines? Talk a little bit about how you stumbled into that technology and if you feel like it's had a positive kind of overall impact. Obviously, as it does appear to work word of mouth. A lot of people know about them.
Yeah, we did. It was kind of we were just trying to think about a different way we could sell products without being, having people here. And some real good friends of ours, his wife was Googling one day and happened to find out that there were vending machines in New York. And so we come up with, or got that idea, and so when we started brainstorming about, well, why couldn't we have it here? Why couldn't something like that work here? And that's when we started researching different vending machines, and we found a place in Omaha that was had some, and so we started visiting with them, and next thing we know, we had one here, and we started out with the one, and it was almost empty every day we put it out there. So I said, we need to get another one, and so we got another one and put it right beside it, and it's been a very good thing. It provides a service that people that can't get here before we close, they have an opportunity to still go ahead and get a steak or some hamburger or whatever, last minute stuff, and it's also just kind of, I don't know, it's just been a convenience factor for them, and
So it truly is a full service vending machine. You can get a steak, and what is in there, and how does it work?
Yeah, it's just like a candy vending machine, pretty much. It's on a carousel, and we put steaks, kind of the most popular steaks that we use, like the ribeyes and the New Yorks, tenderloins, and some. And then kind of depends on what our inventory is, whatever we put out in there. But then we'll put quarter pounders, third pounders, ground beef, chubs, that kind of stuff. And then, they just come and get it. So.
No, it seems like it works well. And again, that's the thing that I've heard about the most is those meat vending machines. We'll definitely have to check those out a little bit later. Also, another thing that I understand, and we've talked to a lot of different lockers in the area, the whole deer harvest and the deer processing is some places do, some places used to, some places don't. Where do you kind of fall in that rank when it comes to deer season? Because it does put a lot of work and strain on the locker operation just to turn everything over. What do you guys usually do?
Well, we've chosen to not do the deer. We're just not doing any any kind of wild game at all. So it just seemed like it was we were going to have to sacrifice maybe some downtime, and I know most of the lockers I talked to about it. That's kind of their bread and butter season is that kind of season, but we just decided we didn't want to do that, and so we didn't go down that road. So.
Talk about the world we live in now. Beef is obviously it's more expensive to buy right now, whether you're bringing a beef in to get hung, and then obviously the processing of it, and even to just go buy it in the store. Has that been an impact on you guys, and if so, what does it look like now for McLean beef?
Yeah, they're getting very expensive. I'm kind of on both sides. I feed cattle too, so it's wonderful to finally make some profits and have good markets. It is it's a lot more tougher in the retail side right now, just trying to get that value out of that meat because the prices are having to go higher. And the other problem, the other thing is too, we have because we're smaller, we don't have the efficiencies that some of the bigger plants have. So we have to really rely on quality, and that has to sell our product. The quality has to make the difference, and I feel like we're seeing it. The difference. I think people are really loving our ground beef and our steaks, and they are worth the extra time, because we dry age all our meat, our retail meat's all 21-day dry aged, and so there is a difference between the dry age and the wet age, but it's so it just takes longer, and it just costs a little more to do it. But as far to answer your question, I guess on the it's been tough. To get that value back out of that animal, it takes a lot, and where the margins are really thin right now to be able to buy that animal from the feed yard and then butcher it, go through the slaughter process and all that, and then it's pretty tough.
Talk about what you maybe sell a lot of on the retail side of things here in your shop.
I would say our biggest seller is probably the ribeye steaks. That we can't never get enough of them. There's only like 18 on an animal, so I mean they go pretty fast. So that's our biggest seller. But we're starting to. Some people are starting to try some of our. Specialty, or I don't know, I would call them opportunity steaks, like the Denver cut, the flat irons is a good steak. A lot of people are starting to try some of those. If they don't try them in a restaurant, they take them home and try them, and those are starting to pick up a little bit. They're a little cheaper way to get the steak. Because our ribeyes are probably the most expensive, and our tenderloins are the most expensive per pound, and then it's our ribeye. So,
talk a little bit about your hours. Obviously, if someone's interested, as we're winding down time on the beef passport, if they're coming to get in, and when can they get their beef passport stamped, and what kind of sets you guys apart that makes you guys worth swinging on by and popping off the interstate, whether people are heading east or west or whatever reason?
Yeah, we're open weekdays, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, and then on Saturdays we're open from 7:30 or 8 o'clock till 2, and we serve breakfasts every day and lunches every day. So I guess if you just you're traveling down the interstate or whatever, and you want to pop off the interstate and have a good home cooked, good old aged beef meal, stop in and see us, and just kind of drive right by those other places.
I like it. And again, the vending machine, you said that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? It's a separate entrance from where we're at right now.
Yeah, we have a kind of a lobby, and the lobby's open 24/7, and of course, then the rest of it's locked up. But the lobby's open 24/7. You can get a any time of day you want. You can get you whatever you need.
Love it. So any time of the day, you heard it, 3 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. If you want a steak, they have it here, providing it at all times at McLean Beef. That is Max McLean, one of the co-owners here of McLean Beef. It is our latest stop of KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska. All right, we're back here at KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska, wrapping things up here in York at McLean Beef, another successful stop.
No, it was a lot of fun. Lived up to the hype. The vending machine was just as cool as you thought it'd be. So well worth swinging off the interstate if you're stamping your passport. But I can't emphasize how great this stop was overall. Really hit all the points that all of the great stops we've had so far have. And really nice folks as well, which I think is a huge part of it.
It really is. By the way, they also do ship across the entire United States. That's something we did not touch on. We saw their entire facility behind the scenes, and they really have a great facility overall from what we just didn't see in the beginning of it.
No, we were able to kind of go in a little bit deeper after we had our conversation and see some of the things they try to do. And I also think one of the cool things he talked about is, I'd like to change that. That's not quite the way I wanted it to be. And one of the coolest ones he said, I'd like to rework this room at some point, make it a little bit safe for the guys working on the kill, by the kill shoot, which obviously that's a great thing to have. It'd be like, got to make sure everybody's safe doing things, because it can be a little unruly sometimes, but a really, really cool stop and a beautiful facility here in York.
Yeah, thanks to Max and his team and his wife for hosting us here once again for KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska. Thanks to our great sponsors, the Nebraska Beef Council, Cross Diamond Cattle, Cross Diamond Meats in Bertrand, the Dawson County Cattlemen, and of course the Nebraska Cattlemen as well. For Jacob Roth and Tyler Cavalli, for KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska.